Aaron, thank you very much indeed. The surprise departure of Jacinda Ardern as Prime Minister of New Zealand, saying it was triggered by a barrage of abuse and vilification and misogyny, got me wondering, who would want to do that job anyway, indeed anywhere? And to be fair to Ms Ardern, she also said that there was nothing left in the tank. She'd run her course in her own mind. Now, in the Sun newspaper today, Karen Brady, who knows a little bit about being at the top of her game as a woman in a world that tends to be dominated by men, suggests that maybe Ms Ardern is better at reading opinion polls than some others. She may have sensed that she was simply heading for defeat, and that if she ran again, it would end badly. Others, including Dan Hannan in The Telegraph, remind us that Ms Ardern was an early and very keen adopter of lockdown in response to the pandemic. Well, like here, that is not universally popular as a policy. It's not that long ago since we had a Prime Minister in this country who said that he dreamed of the top job since childhood. Indeed, Boris Johnson had even dreamed of being King of the world, let alone just the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. But why do some want to do it in the first place? Some doubtless seek the highest elected office in the land because they are on a mission. Margaret Thatcher is an obvious example on economics and politics, and Tony Blair just in terms of making his party electable again after a rather lengthy period in the shadows and in the doldrums. Now, in many ways, the top job itself is not in our gift. It's in the gift of the political party that musters most MPs in a general election. Of course, we vote for those MPs, so if more and more and more of us vote Tory, you get a Tory government and a Tory Prime Minister, and the reverse applies if more and more of us happen to vote Labour. Those MPs, of course, can be fickle, and in recent times we've had a pretty rapid turnover of Tory party leaders. Keir Starmer's position seems to me fairly secure at the moment, having replaced Jeremy Corbyn, the darling of many in the rank and file of the Labour Party, but deemed by most simply to be unelected. But even Sir Keir Starmer shocked many recently when he told Laura Kuenssberg that he never really wanted to be leader. The power of the office is immense, as is the capacity to steer the nation's affairs unequalled. But with it comes endless scrutiny, and rightly so, given all of that power. So why would anybody want to do it? And does it require a very special person with a particular set of values? Should more, like Ms Ardern, perhaps have the guts and honesty to call it a day when they think that their tank is empty? So today, we're looking at what folk want that job for and the pressures that it brings with it. Rishi Sunak appears, I think, at the moment secure after a period of Conservative bloodletting, but from a tax on his wife for her tax affairs and also just her wealth, the seatbelt matter was, of course, of his own making and perhaps is smaller beer compared to some of the things that have been said about his background. Labour say that he clearly comes across as being an out-of-touch, wealthy man, having been criticised recently for taking government jets at the drop of a hat when trains and cars perhaps could have got him from A to B. Now, to me, the bigger problem is that I'm not still entirely clear beyond the 5 pledges what that man that you're looking at, if you joined us on television, really wants to achieve with this great country, why he wants to keep that job. And I'd love to know what you think. Would you like more senior politicians who will say, do you know, I'm done, set myself up a few ambitions and I've achieved most of them? How fares your faith generally in politics and in those who would lead and govern us? In their attacks on the Labour Party chairman over his tax affairs, the Tory Party... Sorry, let me start that again. In their attacks on the Tory party chairman over his tax affairs, the Labour Party say that there should be, generally speaking, greater transparency in public life. Do you think that that's right? And does it increase the chances of the best person getting to the top job in our elected political system? Do get in touch. GBViews at gbnews.uk or via all or any of our social media outlets.